John says, are you putting the Raiders at 8-9 now? Jim, let's talk about your Raiders. Okay, let's talk about your Raiders. I got this in the segment here, so let's talk about the Raiders. The question that I got to ask, are the Raiders actually good? The Raiders did lose to the Chargers come week 1. They lost to a Chargers team that's, let's just be honest, the Chargers are not very good. Yes, they are 2-0. Yes, they are, quote, leading the AFC West. Yes, they have beaten teams like the Raiders and the Panthers. The Raiders did go into Baltimore and beat a good Baltimore Ravens team, but are the Baltimore Ravens actually that good? I don't know. But on the flip side, the Raiders do have some positive things happening for them, right? Gardner Minshew has thrown just over 500 yards in just 2 games, tied for second in the NFL. Davante Adams is having flashes of vintage Davante Adams, making a hell of a touchdown catch in that sideline catch versus the Ravens. Where was that the last couple seasons, right? And the defense pretty much locked down the Ravens when it was time to push to shove, right? When, minute 37 left in the game, pretty much all the Baltimore Ravens was to run out the clock and kick a field goal and win the game. And Max Crosby's like, bad baby, it's my game. The Raiders are not terrible. I put emphasis on that earlier this season when I had them going 12-5, right? Or sorry, 5-12. I said they weren't a bad team. They just got a really tough schedule. And there were a couple people out there that I did see that they did have the Raiders beating the Ravens with a receipts to back it up. But let's just be honest. Very, very few people had the Raiders beating the Ravens. And honestly, I had them starting the season off 0-2. Some people said I had them losing like 9 straight to start the season. I didn't say that. I said 9 straight in the middle of the season, which is still a really good possibility. But when the when the Raiders do beat the Panthers next week at home, there are going to be some more chatter that's happening, right? 2-1. Andy Dalton, that's right. Bryce Young just got benched within the last 30 minutes. Andy Dalton's now the starter in Carolina. When Andy Dalton and the Panthers come into town and Max Crosby and the boys whoop that ass, there's going to be a lot more chatter. Then when the Browns come into town and they battle them, could potentially beat the Browns, there's going to be a lot more chatter. And then they play the Broncos. Should be an easy dub. Right, so at that particular point, we could be looking at a 4-1, 5-1 type of situation going into games versus Steelers, Rams, Chiefs, and Bengals. Right now, Rams, not very good team. Bengals, not a very good team. The Miami Dolphins, Tua is out for the whole season, so Skylar Thompson is going to take over, and the Dolphins actually just signed Tyler Huntley. So back in June and July, this schedule that the Raiders have, the Rams, Steelers, Browns, Ravens, Buccaneers, Jaguars, Saints, Chargers, all kind of looked like, oh shit, slow it down, baby. But now it's looking a lot more favorable. You beat the Ravens. You should beat the Panthers. You should beat the Broncos twice. So there's 3 more wins. The Rams are looking shitty. There's 4. The Bengals are looking shitty. There's 5. The Dolphins it's at Miami. So let's just try to give it to you. There's 6. And then the Jaguars just suck. So there's 7 wins. So Jim, you know what? I might give you guys 8 wins this season. After watching the last 2 weeks of Raiders, I've watched more Raiders football in the last 2 weeks than I've had in a very, very long time because I wanted to dog you. I wanted to pound you guys on the stupid shit, right? It's a very good possibility that the Raiders might get a 7-8 win season. Now, I'm still sticking to my 5. I think the Rams will come around. I think the Miami Dolphins will still figure it out somehow to beat you guys at Miami. Miami is just a tough place to play in general because of the heat and like all that crap, especially coming from a dome. And then you still got the Saints. You still got the Bucks. Still got the Chiefs twice. You still got the Bengals that are going to probably figure it out, right? Did you guys know that the Bengals have started 1-11 the last 6 seasons? I forgot around that. They're used to starting bad. So 8-9 wins, I could see it. I could see it, but I'm still sticking with like 5. Still sticking with 5. And Casey says the Raiders are 100% every team's trap game this season.